that Meghan Markle has in fact reached something of a plateau, shall we say, a slight mound of depression. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I'm sure anybody watching our show right here today doesn't want that. But of course, some people might say when you have these situations, you could suggest they've brought it on themselves. Endless battling in public, comments, always trying to steal other people's thunder. We saw it last week with the surprise pictures of Meghan visiting the coffee shop in Dusseldorf, just of course as the Prince and Princess of Wales were embarking on once again another pivotal move in their careers regarding charities and big events. You really want to draw a line under that sort of thing. But now the bigger issue, as we've told you recently for Meghan Markle, is simply cold, hard facts. She felt that when she moved into the British monarchy, doors would swing open, and they would have done had she stayed around longer than 10 minutes. But of course, you see, now she's left, people think, not that keen, not that bothered, and not that impressed. That's the reason why now she's hit the buffers, and some people tell me, very, very dark place currently regarding this. As ever, let me explain. Hi, good morning. How are you? Nice to see you today. And as ever, thank you so much for joining me. Lovely to have your company. Yeah, we'll have a wave. I know, I'm looking at these flowers right behind me and I'm thinking to myself, these won't be here much longer, will they? And stop laughing, Australia. I know. I can feel it, Yes, I know. We'll have a wave. How are you? It's lovely though, isn't it, when you look at all of this beautiful greenery. The lady who tends to this, by the way, she comes a couple of times a week. Lovely, lovely lady, real dedicated job. And I said to her, do you enjoy it? She said, absolutely love it. And I thought, well, it must be lovely getting up every day and sort of finding something that you really want to go and do because your passion is such that you like, flowers, bedding plants, all that sort of stuff. What do you mean? I know. All right. I know I get told off, don't I? You see, but I just like to share. You know what it's like. Back to your breaking balls story of the day. This story, you see, again, a strange story in many respects because obviously when you think about it, a couple of years ago, this would have been unheard of. The battle, of course, for Meghan and Harry to sort of get things. They got a lot of big things, Netflix, Penguin Random House, Better Up, stuff like that. But it is the cutting remarks regarding their Spotify podcast about being absolute grifters and talentless and certainly no audio stars. Meghan herself, though, wanted to plough on and hoped that she could, get the patent for the domain name of Archwell and archetypes and all that sort of stuff. Didn't work, lost it big time. And she sees this as a bit of an omen. Now, this is very clever, really, in their PR spin, because if she decides now not to go ahead with said podcasts, even though they claim they're ploughing ahead with a brand new idea, incentive name, all of that sort of stuff, it does kind of draw some kind of line under it. Now, I don't know about you. What's in a name anyway? Does it really matter if the podcast, which is simply just a recording that you can download if you don't know what a podcast is? I say this because not everybody does, and it took me a while to work it out. It's a pre-recorded cassette tape. It's like an audio book, isn't it? What's the difference? All fancy names, but basically the same product. Now, Meghan, as you know, had no success with a Spotify deal. Less and less people were tuning in every week, dull guests, and that was the problem. Even duller hosts, some people might say. But for Meghan now, apparently, according to that very well-placed source, she's hit a dark place. Can't believe that this has come back and hit her so spectacularly. And more importantly, would like to take it on, would like to fight it. But of course, as we all know, counting the pennies. Dark times, finally, for Meghan Markle. Perhaps a reality check's needed. Whichever way you look at it, she has to look now and think, are these battles worth it? Could you not be content with what you've got? And as ever, the question remains with her. Neil Sean in the very heart of a blooming London.